All right, welcome back here to Calling the Audible. It is the Div 5A and 5B episodes with me, as always, to my immediate left, Simon Dagenet.
Hello.
The man who could very well be playing in 5B next winter.
Yeah, I hope not.
Peeze
I hope not,
Parisi.
The second half was not indicative of that.
Those passing yards, big boy, are going up and up. And, of course, to my dead center field, it is Eagle, and to my right field, it is GM.
Center field.
I was thinking more of a Paul O'Neill.
He's pulling on.
GM was not happy about that.
He's pulling on you, though.
GM, when he has that luck,
He's got that shift going.
What happened to Rick Santorum?
Oh, no.
Paul got tired of being Rick Santorum.
No, I can't drop that on him like that again. That was bad. That was bad. The look on his face.
Wait, who did Mo get upset being compared to earlier on in the night?
Oh, yes. Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mo got really mad because
I like to be a successful billionaire.
that's what I said, and then Mo was like,
Who
no, I wouldn't.
Who at the moment isn't implicated in the sex
I'm
scandal.
just saying.
Okay, cool, but he's still a billionaire.
Yeah, but then that'll go away if he's actually implicated
Well,
in
he
the
won't
sex
lose
scandal.
all his money.
Depends how far he wants to play.
Even if he loses half of it, he's still pretty well
but
off.
then you're still a creep.
Okay, whatever. People are gonna forget about it. You want us to get him closer to you, Eagle?
Yeah, the camera angle.
Okay, RB. I'm not going there.
All right, let's dive in.
Is this okay?
You want? Alright. I don't get it. I don't.
Let's
understand what's going
dive into the week that was for 5A and 5B.
on. Cool story, bro.
Starting off with 5A.
I have that later in my script at some point. So
what caught your attention, Simo?
there's a few things that I find a bit. Well, first of all, there was the potential suspension brawl fight ish with the Ghanaian this week.
Which I saw.
And brothers.
Yes,
Yes.
brothers.
Sorry.
Yeah, just
Yes.
Was there any rendering
I
on
was there
that?
too, actually.
Not yet.
Is it tonight? No?
It's not going to be as severe as the Goon Squad and.
Do we have breaking news this week?
No, we don't.
No.
We don't.
It's not going to be as severe because it wasn't as bad. It was mostly two guys going at it, and then they kind of broke it off, and nobody was hurt. Whatever. A lot of guys got kicked out of the game,
Yeah, Justin Smoller being one of them.
but I don't think it's going to be the same sort of situation. But still, it's something to monitor. If you see a few guys being suspended, including quarterbacks, it could have hurt them. Both teams.
Game I saw Ghost in Hurricane season. Surprised by the scoreline. Ghost winning 34-27. Not indicative of what the game was. Ghost had this game well in control from the get-go. Gab Wiseman had a phenomenal game. Throwing for 172, 5 TDs, 2 INTs, only 8 incompletions. And he had 1 PD. But I'll tell you, that 1 PD turned the game around on the INT for his team. That was followed up by Matthew Chadwick. But I just thought that they were the better team. It looked like, and this might be in relation to the fact that a lot of these Hurricane guys played with Topseas in the game before in Lachine against the Niners, and it felt like Jared Taylor, who was a quarterback, who had 4 INTs in the football game, wasn't himself and didn't play well.
When
And
Jared
it showed.
Taylor plays poorly, he plays very poorly. At quarterback, and as a receiver, it's a different story. But when he's playing quarterback, I find when he gets rattled, he tends to fall back on bad habits, and that's what we saw.
Well,
Sure.
not only that, though, a lot of drop balls from Hurricane season. Zach Dryden had a great game, but Hassani Worrell did not have a good game. It felt like he wasn't physically he was there, but mentally he wasn't there. And
Physically he had to have been there, unless you believe in ghosts.
yeah, well, and they played
Speaking
against
of
who?
ghosts,
Who did win, by the way?
Yeah,
But it just but there was a play again.
was the joke.
Like, Gab Wiseman outmuscled him for a 50-50 ball.
Well, to be fair, Weissman does that to people.
yeah. Like Gab Wiseman doesn't look like what he is.
He doesn't look the part, but man, he's a
Yeah,
baller.
he's like in a Halloween costume of a much smaller dude.
Yes,
Jared
he
Taylor
always-
had 7 incompletions, 4 for interceptions. So
Yeesh.
3 drop balls, 4 INTs. Is that what the story
So
is?
he was 16 of 19 then in total.
But it's
Yeah.
it's
But
not
I mean,
about. But honestly,
it's not
Eagle,
so bad.
it's one of those things where when you watch him play, it's not just the numbers; it's the way he's making his reads or not making his reads and trusting
Yeah.
his legs, and it doesn't look.
But
Great.
when it's tough, he tends to try to beat the rusher a bit too much, which
Yeah.
we see from a lot of mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And when you stop reading the field to beat the rusher, that's when your offense struggles a lot because you miss the windows, you miss the throws, and then you're hoping that if you beat this rusher, you're going to be able to buy 1 or 2 seconds and somebody's going to be open, but you're putting all your eggs in one basket, and it very rarely pans out.
Something we mentioned quickly in the Division 6 podcast. Hot Boys Hotline beat Albatross. Simon Blais was in the house.
And
So to
I was
speak.
there. I watched
Speaking of
firsthand.
houses.
And he looked okay. He looked all right.
He looked
Wasn't
all right.
wasn't the most remarkable John Elway like performance of him winning a football
it's his
game?
first time playing higher division than
you're
Division
right.
6D. But it was good. It was good enough. Like, he played well. And what I liked about him is every time he walked past, me and Mokan back to the sideline, he had this biggest smile on his face. Like,
Yeah, he's
no
happy,
worries,
having
man.
fun.
Like, yeah, but you don't see that often enough.
Yeah.
There's so many
Especially guys who
stressing,
play in Division 6 who think every game is the Super Bowl.
Well,
So-
more of a Pro Bowl in their eyes.
Just walking back, huge smile. I turn around, I was like, who's this guy? He looks really happy. I want to be his friend. And I was like, that's Simone. I'm like,
and then like most up to me your number, and he's like, I'm not gonna call him, and he tore it up on the way to the bench.
that never happened.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
100%.
no, it didn't.
Yeah.
But
True,
you know,
true stories of
Like,
FPF.
Stop.
Look, Tom Gatehouse obviously was not there. There is no quarterback controversy with Gatehouse and Blais at that
Only
position.
because Simon Blais is not actually on the team.
No, exactly.
Also,
but,
because Gatehouse has been playing
Minor
really
detail, right?
but
Like, why are you guys hating on
It-
Gatehouse?
it-
He's not
because
bad.
he gets mad.
So he was
like,
late.
if you don't get the show by this point, that's on
Yeah.
you. That's a you problem.
What show?
yeah.
Our
This,
show.
this is real life.
Yes, but it's a show that takes place in real life.
Or
But
is it
look, Edward
fantasy?
Valmay had a good game.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. Both sides of the football. He was good, right? And Vadim Chernak, again, goes about his business, not doing the big plays, but he comes up with the smaller plays that end up being important for the team here. But I just think
Interception?
the interception, the 2 PDs that he had, the PDs he had were at the most important times of the football game. But I just think that perhaps Hot Boys Holland are turning the corner now, and now realizing their potential that, hey, we could be on a potential run of maybe going to the 5A finals and perhaps hoisting up that trophy in about 2 months' time.
Can we talk about the Bryden Streeter issue?
Yeah, look, poor
I mean,
guy.
He popped his shoulder 3 times in one game.
I think it was 4 or 5, no?
3.
Like,
I
he was
counted
in
them.
severe pain.
So
Ah!
it's
Yeah.
definitely, as far as I understand, it's definitely the plan after the season.
That's what he said to
Surgery.
someone, that he needs shoulder surgery, right?
But, like,
Yeah,
but
that
you
dude
saw-
needs RoboCop like nobody's business.
I don't
like, he needs it to
understand.
be a reality.
He would be an
Yeah.
effective RoboCop.
I know.
I don't understand. Like, it happened to me quite often back in the days, and it hurts so much, and it just comes back out like nothing never happened.
He's tougher
through
than
the-
him.
Also, like, you could have severe damage.
Yes.
Long term, yes. Which
But like, he doesn't seem to care, and then he bats down a ball, and the shoulder just pops out again.
was
Like, at some point, stop.
well, as Peeze said, right? This is like the NFL for these guys.
Yeah, but
I've literally done that where like I stick up my hand to bat down a ball, and then as the ball tips it, it pops out,
yeah,
and then I just walk around with my arm in the air for 30 seconds while I try and pop it back in.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like, stop. 3 times in one game.
No, once.
It looked honestly, it looked really bad, and every time, every player from
Albatross.
thank you, Albatross, they look like, oh, did we hurt him? Like every
Yeah, they
single
felt
time,
bad.
they felt bad. It's like, oh, this guy popped his shoulder, and the receiver right next to him when he batted the ball down, and the guy falls and his shoulder's like out, and he looks at him, he's like, ooh, I'm sorry, man. He's like, oh no, it wasn't you.
It was
But-
me.
but it feels
was
like-
all me.
You feel responsible if somebody
call
gets
him
hurt
Mr.
right
Glass.
next to you, right?
Yeah.
But it looked like it rattled them a little bit. Every time it happened, everybody from Albatross was like, after the game, ooh, okay, this is bad. I don't want this to happen to me. I've been 3 times in one game. It just feels weird.
By the way, congratulations to Lockdown Time this week, 26-26.
Hey,
When you can't get a date, kissing your sister's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
We actually drove for the win. Imagine. Missed the extra point.
That's the most lockdown sentence of all time.
That's like a real. That's where it is. Anything that caught your attention in 5A, Peeze?
I was looking at 5B actually.
5B, go ahead.
TDs and Beer pulling out the victory over Balls Deep by a point.
Yep.
That was cool.
That
It
was
was
back
cool
and
to see.
forth.
Back and forth all game. It's nice to see TDs and Beer coming together and doing the thing that they do every season, which is have a
sorry,
really good
have beers.
regular season. And then they seem to run out of beer in playoffs.
Run
So
out of
hopefully that
beer,
won't be the
sounds
case.
like the worst.
But I like TDs and Beer. I like him overall. Avery Lala has been one of my favorite quarterbacks since he played, since I coached against him in FPF Junior, and he infuriated me because I had no way to stop him. For Balls Deep, seeing Justin Weir being able to go, score for score with him. It was a fun game and a game that I'm sure T's and B are happy to see, but also for Balls Deep saying, you know what, we compete in this game. We compete against a team that's likely a little bit better than us.
If you lose by 1 point, you were in the game the whole way. You should pat yourself on the back.
How much do you drink when you lose by 1 point?
Depends on the situation.
Man.
Yeah.
What happened? Did I lose by 1 point because I pulled a lockdown?
Let's say you missed the throw on the drive to win.
Are
the
you
game.
drinking Pepto?
You missed a wide open receiver.
Are you using
Yeah, no.
Pepto
So
the
that's a
next
different
morning?
story. If we're down by 1, they get like 5 plays left. The guy's wide open and I miss him. That hurts. If let's say we score, we're down by 7, we score, and then we don't get the 2-point convert to win the game. It's not as bad.
Yeah.
Or if you're up by 7 and then the other team scores and then gets a 2-point convert and I'm not on defense, also doesn't hurt the same way.
Yeah, because
But
Bunch
if
of
you
fault.
miss a
You have
wide
someone else to
open
blame.
throw to win,
yeah,
Ooh.
that bourbon's gonna get hit hard, right?
oh man,
Yeah,
that
I know.
hurts.
Pepto Bismol here.
I would rather you drop the ball than me miss you. You know.
Super Science I saw play against Falcons. Our very own GM
So
with a pick 6 that actually turned the
So-
game around. And the way
Very
GM
nonchalant.
celebrated.
last play
Well,
of the half.
mind you, there was a
There
bit
you
of
go.
controversy with one of their players being ejected. Who was it again, GM? That was
Super Saiyan Tyler Doucette.
yeah,
Fully
and-
merited.
Yeah, he was scores a 40-yard bomb, 40-burger touchdown, and he looks at the DB, and
Clock's coming down.
next thing you know, he got look at our clock.
Well,
It's about to go down.
Production.
I think it also
A1.
came from Tyler and the player on Falcons, who was a class act the whole way, by the way, just putting that out there, having words or beef earlier on, and Tyler kind of called attention to it. So of course, the official, I believe it was Jack Nudie, says, "Hey, like, enough." And then that happened, and it was just like, you can't toss him. You can't not toss him at that point.
Yeah, especially you were the one complaining about it in the first place.
Yep.
So like, you're doing the thing you're asking the ref to look out for.
That's
Maybe
smart.
not amazing.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Hey, look for holding.
The David Del Rocca
Why?
effect. Yeah.
Well, Jordan Allard 4 TDs in that game, but
Mhm.
big win because we talked about
5
the Falcons.
TDs.
5 TDs, yes.
Because he picked one and brought it
Yes, that's right. Pick 6 to 10 the game off. But we talked about the Falcons. That we talk about Pat LaFave and what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that offense is pretty dynamic, but unfortunately they were disjointed in the first half and couldn't really get going. And after the pick 6 by our very own GM, it was all about super science at that point.
But that's also like typical. If when he's on, he's playing really well. But there's nights where he just kind of struggles, doesn't get into his rhythm, and it takes too long to kind of reset and get back into his ways. And he doesn't have like that go-to play that really gets him going.
Well, he does,
Sure
though.
he does.
He does. Over the middle, deep ends.
Yeah, but that's tricky though. Like that's not an easy get going play. That's like you're putting all your eggs in one basket and hope it works. You know.
So Super Saiyans came out with the win in this one, and I know we're touching upon something that comes up in the script later, but like he has the go-to play and he has the go-to player in Rafael Ducalapalm.
Yep.
And having gone into this game, scripting how can we reduce Rafael Ducalapalm's impact on this game, we scripted it and we still couldn't. Like
He's really good.
2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, just like a solid possession receiver. He can shed coverage. He gets open. He has great hands, and that's testament to the depth they have. At least,
Yeah, but he's
So-
a very, very good receiver that not a lot of people know about.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, guys? I saw the Speakeasy game against the Ducks. Speakeasy winning 33-25. Our very own, well, not very own, but Vincent Richard finally putting together a decent game, 4 TDs. Fade-in only 9-17 for 110, 4 TDs, 1 INT.
It was 27-25, and then there was like 4 plays left,
But-
and they
but it's not-
decided to keep playing.
Right,
and-
and that was a stupid move because you don't
Well,
do
the game
that.
was over.
The game was
They could
over.
have called it, but they decided to keep
But
playing.
The way I always see it is, for me, let's say we're winning and the team is on defense and the refs ask us if we want to finish playing. I always ask the defending team.
Well, that's what they did.
So there
They
you go.
asked
There's nothing
everybody.
wrong there.
Everybody said yes. No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's
So-
not stupid. It's just, it's not. It
You run
doesn't
the
reflect.
risk of losing.
It doesn't reflect the game, saying it was a 2-point difference, and then they scored basically
Yeah.
when the game was over. But it was a close game. I'll give that to Ducks. Like it wasn't.
But
easy
it was. They
breezy.
came back when they were down 15-0.
Yep.
They came back.
Is playing in Division 3 helping Vincent Richard become a
No,
more
of
effective
course
quarterback?
not.
No?
It is.
No, I
Okay.
see him
Yes,
play enough.
it is.
Because? Wait. Mokan, because?
He can't throw a football.
Simone,
That's
because?
very not true. He doesn't
Fake
have
news.
he doesn't have no. Yes, it is fake news.
Nice.
He doesn't have the same receivers, and he's overthrowing guys because they're not as fast as the ones he has in Division 3. He's used to these sort of receivers. They're running certain patterns, and then when he's playing with the Speakeasy, the guys are not as talented as the ones he's playing with when he's playing with Looney Goons. in Division 3, and you see the difference. Like, he's making the same play calling, he's making the same throws, but it's just not connecting. He's overthrowing guys by 2, 3, 4 yards. The guy's wide open. It's the right read. It's just chemistry's not there.
Embrace debate. I love it.
But it's tough. Like, if you would play with like Division 2 players and then you play with OSP, it's not the same. Even if you call the same play,
I think for me it'll be the same.
timing's
I'll still
not-
Yeah, because Peeze puts up big yards per
yeah,
game.
but timing's not the same, and it's tough to switch from one to another really quickly. But yes, it is helping him. It's you're dumb for thinking it doesn't help him. It makes no sense. Of course, it helps him to play more games.
This got out of hand quickly. I love
Yeah,
it.
thank you. All right, let's.
No, you need to personally insult Timo before the end of the show.
Yeah, we will. before we
I
go
do it every
forward.
show.
Look, right now in 5A, you have 3 undefeateds,
Mhm.
and the Longhorns, GHB, and Lionel. Looking at their schedules right now.
This is a cue for one of our producers to bring up the schedules. Isn't
Schedules,
it?
that's
Yeah.
correct. Looking at the schedules right now.
What do you mean I have to do things?
Besides
Yes.
drinking coffee. Look at the schedules right now, gentlemen. For these 3 teams, what do you think this plays out? Are we going to have at least one that will be perfect 10-0 when we hit the playoffs?
Well, so we touched upon it a little bit earlier with the Canvai being involved in a sort of a brawl with a lot of guys being kicked out of the game. I don't know if it'll result in suspensions. I'm not in charge of the disciplinary committee. I don't know. I'm not. But if it does, and the Canvai lose a few players, they might drop a game or two because they lose key players. So that could impact their game. Also, they could potentially lose their quarterback for a few games. So that also hurts.
Sebastian Thibault.
Sebastian
Could be,
Thibault, yeah,
yeah.
you could be suspended. So, I'd say if one team can do it, it's Greendale Human Being.
But let's get some more depth by looking at the schedules.
Yes,
So
Eagle.
Greendale Human Beings has Les Flamands Fous, Buffalo Wild Wings, Rednecks, and Bobby's Boys.
Oh, they can go 10-0.
10-0.
They can go 10-0.
Next.
Yeah, 10-0.
All
You're
right.
not losing any of those
no,
games.
no. They ain't losing that.
Go
Grand
next.
Lionel, so they already have 7 games played, by the way.
Yes.
So they have Warriors, Lockdown, and Hurricane Season.
Oh, I think the lockdown's going to beat them.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
okay,
well, none of those games are free, though.
No, they're not easy.
No, but
So-
if you don't have your quarterback for any, let's
Yeah,
say, let's
exactly,
Say,
like-
let's say he misses one game.
Yeah, so, like, lockdown, if you don't have your quarterback, the defense can put Gianfranco in a position to win a game.
Yeah, it depends on what
Yeah.
John Franco or Pat Wright we
Pat
get. in
Wright,
that
yeah.
Also,
game.
it depends
Yes.
who's replacing.
Well, Sebastian Thibault's tough to replace because of his style. Like, nobody's
Yeah.
that fast.
No.
And so nobody buys time the way he
well,
does.
like one guy, but he plays in
In division
blue chips.
Yeah. Or the CFL.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so I think all those 3 games will be contested with or without Sebastian Thibault. And if he's missing, they will lose at least 2 of those games.
But if he's not missing, they could potentially go 10.
Yes, potentially, but it'll be tough.
Yeah.
Longhorns.
And then Longhorns, so they have 6 games played. Their outstanding schedule is half A stars or half a stars, Los Avocados, Finessers, and Ghosts.
Finesse would be the toughest
Yeah.
one. Ghost would be tricky.
Ghosts are tough
that's 3. Even after stars.
I think
not-
Finesse would be the toughest one.
Amazing.
out of
They're
the bunch.
losing one.
I think Finesse might be the one.
They
to
might be
lose
finished
to.
like 8-2. I think they could lose to Finesters and Ghosts.
Yeah, it'll be
But
tough
again,
to lose the
it's
season
not-
losing 2 straight games.
But then they're undefeated at the moment. It's still a very good season for Longhorns. It's tough to finish the last 2 games with losses, but they're veterans. They know that it won't really matter at that point. Like if you're 8-0 and you lose 2, it doesn't matter.
But do we value the Longhorn Star because you said that before, right? How they are, but look who's in the division. Ghost, Texas Bearmans, Hurricane Season, Finessers, all teams with at least 3 wins or more, and most likely they will probably have 5 teams from that division all going to the playoffs. in
Okay, what do
April.
you mean by value their
But
start
do you
then?
value that? Hey, for them to go through this schedule of teams that they'll face, that we can
Yes.
rank them far higher because the strength of schedule will be tougher
They
than
haven't
others.
played all of them yet.
But they will eventually, though, right?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Is we'll see how they fare against them back.
There's so much time travel in this question. It feels like Sharknado 6.
Sharknado 7.
Time travel.
Yeah. We're going to see the Longhorns.
Then again, though, GHB wins games because of their system. Grand Lionel wins because of their athleticism. Longhorns wins because of matchups.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but GHB has
Right.
this, but
And
their
quarterbacking.
division they have wrapped up.
And Rob Allen.
They have this division wrapped up. Right now, they have essentially what is a 6-point lead on Mud Dogs and Buffalo Wild Wings, right? So they can pretty much give themselves a
If
one
they win
spot.
next week, they clinch the division.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I don't think they'll lose any of their games. Greendale, you maybe moved up the division. They're still very dominant.
Okay, so in 5A or in 5B, in years past, in particular for the Division 5 name, we've always seen an undefeated go down early in the playoffs.
Yep.
Is this yeah? If you're looking at you, Peeze, is this the kiss of death for one of these teams to go undefeated and not
Yes.
have a prolonged playoff run?
So that was also true, especially when divisions were large, because you typically had weaker schedules to get into the playoffs. So that may not be the case here. However, because of so here's the thing. I don't think either of these teams are completely any of these teams are completely matchup-proof. Longhorns can lose to absolute athleticism. Grand Lionel can lose against teams that manage the game properly, and GHB can lose a game if their system does not work in a specific game. So none of them are absolutely matchup-proof. We're like, wow, this team's absolutely dominant. You know what I mean?
Well, I still think Greendale Human Beings
Yeah,
is
of the three, they're
the
best
closest
team.
thing to
Yeah.
matchup proof there is, because so far throughout their franchise history, they haven't. There's not a team that was able to stop their system. Even if they did lose, they still put up 35 points.
Yeah,
So with that in mind, I still think that their system works. And
it does work. I mean,
if you move up divisions, if let's say they play in Division 2, Division 3, we'll have a different story. But for now,
so we're seeing that system work in Division 3.
yeah, but for now, like I would say they are matchup proof
Yeah.
due to what they do.
That's
Okay.
true. I agree to a degree.
Yeah, that's like I would say with Mo.
Let's say
again.
let's say it's a team, 6 athletes across the board. They win every matchup. They play man every single play.
Against Green Hill Win.
Yes.
But they have patterns that switches so closely from one another that if you play
Okay.
man,
but and then you
that's what they do best.
then you illegally bump the routes, because that's how you beat. For example, that's how 2.5 times have lost playoff games. It's more physical, faster teams, right?
Yeah.
And that's how Greendale Human Beings are equally susceptible, because
Yes.
that's the downfall to their system. Is
Yes.
the spacing and timing is so important that if you break that, it's difficult for them to
Yep.
win it.
That's exactly that. You hit it right on the head. That's exactly what you need to do. But we don't see that often in lower
In Division 5, yes, correct.
If we have to do a power rankings for 5A right now,
Yep.
How would you rank the division leaders right now? It is Hot Boys Hotline, Greendale Human Beings, Grand Lionel, and of course Longhorns.
Yep.
And would you have Smoking A's, Preachers, Finessers, or Ghosts above any of these teams if you did a power ranking as we speak?
No. The
So
top
you're
four
seeing the top 4 divisions are
the top
division
four.
leaders
I
are
One of
would-
the top 4 teams in the division.
I think they're top 4 team, and then you see guys like Financiers and Ghosts at like 5th and 6th.
But and I would say Grand Lionel a shade under Hot Boys Hotline right now, just because if they're gonna have to have games without Sebastian Cibo.
But then that's a big if.
But no, but I'm saying
we're
that, like,
just
that power
speculating.
ranking is based on like where you are right now. I'm not saying till the end of the
No,
season. into
but
the playoffs.
as of
Quality
right now,
wins.
we
Yes.
expect them to lose their quarterback for a couple of games.
As of today,
Given that information,
no, but as of today, they are a better team.
with
Next week,
Sebastian
we'll
Thibault.
see. But
Maybe not.
for the
Yeah, but if
first
you're-
7 weeks,
but you're
they are.
gauging them. Like, let's say you're writing an article right now. You're gauging them where, like, the current situation moving into the week.
No, I'm basing it on what happened in the week prior. So in the last
So
7
then,
weeks.
so then, why have power rankings? You could just do standings if you're just looking at the past.
No, but it's not just standings. It's like
So-
how you've played, how you've impacted
All
your
right, so
team.
here's the argument for you right now, Simon. So say GL loses this week by, I don't know, 12 points.
Okay.
2 scores, okay? And you have your power rankings for the top 6.
Mhm.
Do they fall out of your top 6, or you put them at number 6 because they don't have
What
Sebastian
if they
Thibault?
lose too?
Let's say, who's your next game this week? I'm just
Well,
looking at
if Sebastian Thibault is missing, then I take that lose with a grain of salt. If he's
they'll
present,
play
then you lose. That's a
Warriors
different
this week.
story. Okay, so if
Decent team.
so if they lose without their quarterback, I'll take that with a grain of salt. But if they do win, if they lose with their quarterback, that's a different story.
But if they lose by 2 scores,
But the quarterback's not there. It's not the same team.
but would you
We
draw?
don't
How
know
far
that.
would they drop though in your power rankings?
Maybe like a spot or two.
That's it.
That's it. It's not the same team without the quarterback. Everybody knows that. Montreal Juniors Finance was not able to win because Mokan was there.
No, but the point is that
The point is, if you don't have your quarterback, it's not the same team. Regardless who's playing where, if you bring a new guy never played a quarterback in FBF to play with her that one game because Sebastian's not there, and he doesn't play well, it's not because the team's not good. It's because the guy never played FBF before. And even if you bring a veteran, and you bring in like Peeze, for instance, to play for Canadian, please don't.
I'm
And
so hurt.
Oh,
no, but what I'm
God.
saying
I'm
is
so
that
injured.
the chances of you being able to succeed with new guys that you've never played before in a one-time
Yeah.
scenario is the
Difficult.
odds are against you. So that doesn't reflect how the team is. That only reflects how it's difficult for FPF for a new guy to adjust to a team on like a 44-minute
However,
span.
Yes, Jim.
with that in mind, I'd almost still be more likely to take in that situation Peeze, who has FPF experience, like albeit at a lower division, over someone who is like completely new to the league and but
Yes.
still has potential more athletic upside.
Yes, but
So everyone.
yes, but
Taking Peeze over the field.
There you go.
yeah, but I said like a guy. If you bring a guy like Pease, doesn't mean you're going to win. That's what I'm saying.
The quarterback's always the hardest position to find a sub for. Like, you can sub a rusher, you can sub a safety, you can sub a corner or a receiver, but a quarterback comes with his system and everything. So either you're giving him a system to run in which case he's uncomfortable,
Or the
or
receivers
he brings his own system and then the receivers might be uncomfortable, right? So it takes that time.
Fair.
Fair enough then. Looking ahead now. The playoff scenarios with 3 weeks or 4 weeks to go in the season here.
So Division 5 is rough, man.
It's open-ended.
6 teams won't make it in, 8 out of 14 only 8 out of 14 teams makes it in, which is probably the toughest
Should
we've
they
seen
have
in a
gone
long
to
time.
Should they gone to 12 playoff teams and had
No,
a top four bye?
No, I hate that because only 2 teams don't make the playoffs. It feels a bit like playoffs are granted sort of thing.
8 of 14 is 57%, by the way.
So a little bit lower than our 60% threshold.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which we've
Maybe you add a
emphasized.
play-in game. Guys, it's all about play-in game. I'm telling you, it's exciting.
I
It's
bet you
save
do.
baseball.
But Peasy, I think you have a point, though. I think it would really add another dynamic to the whole playoff process because someone might get hot if they win the playing game. Next, they take out the Greendale Human Beings, and we're saying this is a true Cinderella run. It's called a wild card, right?
Eagle. Right now, who's the last team?
Mavericks.
The team that not the last team. The team that's the first team
ninth.
that's not making the playoffs.
Okay,
Warriors.
Give me one.
Conference
Warriors.
A5A is Albatross in 8, Warriors in 9.
Okay, so
Warriors.
let's say
Sure.
before the playoff game, that would be the number 1 team against
plays
whatever. You have 8 versus 9 play, and then the 1 seed also has the benefit of playing a tired team because they just played a play-in game. And it's exciting because maybe you come in extra hype because you just won that game.
or you could flip it around and make it like the top 2, for instance, because of the bye sort of thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Or
Yeah.
you could go.
But
Yeah,
like,
but that's very
I'm saying
interesting.
You have you have these 2 games, right? So for like 2 and 3, you have 2 play-in games.
Yeah, it's cool.
Those, and it decides who will play the next game immediately after against the top 2 seeds.
And traditionally, we've done that for like Division 1 or Division A, where if you have like 7 teams or 8 teams or whatever, well, we put top 5 and 4 plays 5 for that final spot.
But see, I like it in a division like this where so many teams are not making the playoffs. And Division 5 recently has been tough to make the playoffs for this reason. Why not?
Increase the odds
Because of money, yes. But I'm saying, like, as from a content perspective, I think it's very interesting.
I like it too. Could be
Perhaps
cool.
it should go to a fall vote for next winter, or even for spring season, right? I mean, we can test it out.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
One-
why not?
one thing
if we
is
got,
that-
if we got this scenario again,
Yeah.
why not?
Usually, we stick to our either 8, 12, or 16 type of structures when it comes to these. So any of these kind of tweaks or weird ones, we need to explore what it means for everything. But I can see them
we
working.
need a committee of 25 to figure out that
Also-
whole. Wait, 8 versus 9. So what happens in this scenario again? Let me get this
Can
straight.
we not do the FPF thing and decide 3 days before the season starts and
Yeah.
maybe start now when we have time
No,
to
I don't-
plan?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
What, no, but look,
Paging president
but you
campaign.
know what's going to happen though? The company line is, well, schedule permitting, we don't have enough time to do this and this and this.
Play outside.
Play outside then,
Let's do it.
on the road, off the 40 West,
On the roof.
of the dome.
What? On the roof?
Of the
The
dome.
That sounds dangerous.
Very
Have you ever?
dangerous. My ankles are already hurting.
You ever heard the ice slide down?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Or the
Imagine
rain.
that too.
Okay, guys, quickly here.
I don't want to.
Look, right now you have Mud Dogs in 5, 10 Guys, 1 Cup in 6, Buffalo Wild Wings in 7, Albatross in 8, and then, boy, oh boy, you have 4 teams after that. You have Warriors, Dope Boys, Bobby's Boys, Rednecks, all in 9 through 12.
Mm-hmm.
2 teams in, 2 teams out. Who are they?
I'd say Mavericks, Goats, and Warriors don't make the playoffs, and Albatross, Bobby's Boys, and Dope Boys don't make the playoffs.
Peace.
I think Mud Dogs will make it. Albatross. Give me Mud Dogs and Warriors have to figure it out. There's too much talent not to figure it out. Give me Mud Dogs and Warriors.
Conference B.
Mm-hmm.
Hurricane season at 7 points. LFF at 5 points in the 8 hole. They have Pigeon Squad at 9. And just for the argument's sake, we'll have Brothers, who are in the 10th seed right now with 2 points. Still,
I don't think they get there though.
so.
I don't
Okay,
think
so
so.
you know what? We'll put it this way. 2 in, 1 out. Who's that scenario right now with Pigeon Squad, LF, and Hurricane season?
I think Canes make it. The Les Flamands Fous schedule is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they're going to be stuck
Eagle,
on the
can you
outside
bring it up?
looking in.
Because I saw that too. I just don't remember who they're
Their
playing.
schedule right now coming up the
Les
next
Flamands
4
Fous?
weeks.
It'd be awesome if
is
like there was like a queue, like you said the word schedule.
Green to
and
Human
then our
Beings.
producers looked at the schedule.
Flamand Fou have Greendale Human Beings, Preachers, Pigeon Squad, and Weasels and Falcons.
So that game against Pigeon Squad may decide it, but even at that, I think Pigeon Squad. got
Pigeon
it.
Squad has an easier schedule
Yeah.
to move like
That's
forward.
brutal.
So I think it's going to be between Les Flamands Fous and Pigeon Squad. And just because of that, Pigeon Squad has the upper hand.
Oh, it's crazy. I'm always fascinated by at this point of the year where there's 4 games left per team, or 3 now.
That wasn't me.
Who was that?
Could be anyone.
I feel like it was Eagle.
He's not paying attention. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
So moving on. You're saying Mokan?
5B.
No one else heard this, but you, Peeze.
5B.
Because it was you.
It sounded like cardboard being torn.
All right, 5B. You look
Cardboard underpants.
like Conference
Oh
A.
man, that's a new thing.
Would be terrible.
You could
so many
slide-
cardboard cuts.
You could slide on everything at all times.
Something that Simon does all the time. All right,
Slide on everything.
yeah.
Thank you. I guess.
Conference A West. You have 4 teams at 4-2. Who's the best team right now in that division? Pirates, Spartans, Les Affreux, and Sturdom are all 4-2. Simon Dagenet, I ask you, who is the best 4-2 team? Mogadishu Pirates are the first place team in this.
Here comes the bias.
Give me Pirates.
Oh.
Oh, I was
Oh.
thinking Les Affreux might be there.
No.
Oh.
The Pirates are 4-1 with Joe Cano. They lost the game where he wasn't present against Black Knights. So, and as long as Joe's there, give me Pirates all day. Peace. What are your thoughts?
I'm actually gonna go with Afro.
Bias.
Bias.
Because
No, just like it's a well built team.
but they've lost the last 2 games though.
Yeah, that's fine. That's their only 2 losses. It doesn't like other than week 1.
Shocker.
Like if they lost week 2 and 3, would it matter? Like that they lost 2 in a row?
No, but
Like when we get to the end of the season, it won't matter that they lost these 2 in a row.
fair.
They lost a big one against Mogadishu Pirates, to be fair, but I'd like to see a rematch, and I don't think Mogadishu Pirates would handle them quite so easily.
I give Spartans a decent chance of being the best
What?
4-2 team because look,
What's happening here?
I think
yeah, I know it.
Mo backpedals a lot.
Yeah, I know. Right?
No.
How's your
like,
Achilles here feeling, man?
feeling
Is it hurting
fantastic.
from all the backpedaling?
Yeah.
You missed Mo backpedaling about the studs. It was so
We'll
good.
get to that.
It was
division.
so
Hold
good.
on here. Hold on. Those are my boys. But anyway, Spartans
Sorry.
took out
See what
SOB.
happened?
And again, they were down for pretty much about 2/3 of the way through.
But
They came
SOBs
through.
has not been playing well.
They're not a good team here, and I think they really want to prove me wrong. Watching the game from field 2.
They're
and
not a
field
bad
1.
team. It's just
No, it's
not their
That
season.
injury also really hurt them. though.
Yeah. Marini's got to figure it out as a quarterback. But look, Spartans though, these are the type of games I'm looking at here. These close games, can they finally pull through? And they did at 4-2. They might be the under the radar team to look out for in the
Well,
next 4 games.
All their games have kind of been that way, though, where they've had to either hold on to a game late or come from behind to win.
But it's good though for James Dandra to
Yes,
learn.
I think so.
Yeah.
And honestly, again, I think a lot of the sentiment about James Dandry, and I said this last week, is it's something we've held on to from past seasons. And we do this sometimes where, so like Simon, when I met you, you were like a certain age. So in my mind, you're always 24, you're always like 23 or 24 years old. So it's that kind of thing where we form an opinion on a player and until it absolutely smacks us in the face.
Oh, so Tom Gatehouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Lakeshore's finest, Tom Gatehouse.
Riverdale's finest. So the thing is, until it absolutely smacks us in the face, we're reluctant to admit to change. But in this case, this is something I've seen him get better over the past few seasons. And
I don't like change.
What are you willing to put down money that one of these 4 teams will go to the finals?
I'm always willing to put down money on something.
But
But let me take a look at what the rest of this conference looks like.
Just
Well,
quickly, this conference is going to be really fun at the end of the season.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
team in first has 9 points. The team in last has 3 points. So anything can happen. Anyone can move anywhere.
well, I mean,
A lot of movable
that's like
parts
the
right
top
now.
4 teams in a conference that has one of the guys going to the playoffs. So I would say like 75% because odds.
Yeah.
Peace.
Well, because the way I see it is, the field in this case is like takeover, Punishers, Ducks.
Takeover. I know we've you've sort of questioned them.
Well,
right?
I haven't. I think that the addition of Vincent Benjamin is huge. But
Punch
so
took a bad
you're giving me
loss, though.
4 teams in Mogadishu Pirates, Spartans, First, and Amsterdam, and you're giving me on the other side of the bracket 2 teams that can contend to them. So yeah, give me one of these teams.
But Punishers took a bad loss though. They
Yes.
took a bad loss on the week when they lost to Finners by a score of 36-24, and that's a bad loss, man. Because in theory, you look at Finners; they've not been a great football team, and here they are keeping themselves alive for a playoff spot at 2-4. And for the Punishers, you question like, hey, if they won that football game, they're 5-2, and they're in first place.
Yeah.
And now they're back in second place, a point behind.
Yeah, but they'll be
Takeover
all
with
right.
with a game in hand. You need to say for Takeover.
But they'll be all right though. Like I agree with you that they could have been number 1. They could have been top seed, but
I don't think
does
it'll
it,
matter.
does it really matter?
I think it does. It
Why?
really does. Look, a team like Takeover has to benefit from having a superior playoff ranking because there's certain
But
matchups
sometimes it
that.
doesn't. Sometimes
But
you're better off being second, having the favorable matchup, than being.
But in this case, though, if you took Takeover and said, listen, can they run through the gauntlet of the 4 teams in the West Division of Pirates, Spartans, there's African Amsterdam? Could they do it?
But they might still need to, even if they're first or
Yeah,
second.
but they can avoid one of those teams though if they're a higher seed.
Yeah, but also like if you're top seed, for example, Takeover may have to face Moss City or Punishers. I don't want that first round.
Which
But if
we're
you're
asking
second,
about
who are
right
you
now.
playing?
Well, those are the right now.
Okay.
Moss City is 7. So I'm just saying, if one of those teams slips down to 8,
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it's a
Like,
bad spot if you're the top team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, number 1, because the way FPF playoffs are, being the number 1 seed doesn't always give you the best matchup. It's not like you could choose who you want to play amongst the 7
That would be
remaining
awesome.
team.
If there's a draft,
Yeah, so you
That'd
kind of
be
like
awesome.
you choose your opponent, and then the second seed chooses his opponent, and then
New playoff mode.
how disrespected would you be if you're like the second team and you get chosen by the first team? Like, I'm playing you this week.
wow,
That'd be awesome.
man.
wow, that'd be great. So if
That's
you're like
a
the
real
fourth,
old school wrestling pay per view like angle.
so if you're like the 4th seed, you basically get whatever matchup is left on the board.
It'll be like the days of when the NHL had the top seeds make the playoffs, and so everyone would take the 3rd team because it was like Washington or Carolina when they were really bad.
Yeah, but imagine
Well,
I-
even now, right? The
imagine how
wild card
different
in
that
the
would be.
NHL.
So I'm the 1st seed. I'm choosing these guys.
All right, look at
Cool. I'm choosing the 2nd seed. Why? Because we beat on them this season.
Yeah.
So beat
All
on
right,
them
let's do
again.
it. For Dark Horse candidates, though, we have Sturridge, Moss City in the process, though. So you mentioned Moss City, though. Are they the most legitimate threat to this division powers of what they have right now in front of them?
So what we see in Division 5 that tends to win is really good and fast receivers with a quarterback who is competent, and I think that describes Moss City, and I think that describes the process. 2 teams that you mentioned. So I think those teams are teams that nobody wants to see in the first round, for example. Similarly to Spartans, again, like that team is well built. The question mark coming in is James Andrea, who's improved drastically. Now all of a sudden, maybe that's not a game I want early in the playoffs.
Yeah, but like that's exactly it. If the first play of the game is a 40-bomb touchdown and you're down 7-0, in the playoffs it's a scary thing.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so they could do whatever they want, and now we have to drive the field, score, take some time. They come back on offense, boom, score again. You're like, oh man.
So is this 5B the most compelling storylines
Yeah.
for playoffs?
To me, it's one of the most interesting divisions we've had to cover all season. Typically, you think, lower divisions won't be fun.
That's not true.
It's usually the
Who
opposite.
thinks that?
The lower divisions, I think, are most fun because there's a lot more unknown quantities, so to speak.
Yes, Eagle.
Conference B, Division 5B, Conference A, because Conference B is a little bit in comparison, but Conference A is really looking good.
It's going to be fascinating. Like there won't be any upsets. That's how strong each team is in that side of the bracket. Look, Italian Beef, Anthony Seja, Junior Sparrow.
Italian beef.
Well, they are pretty big boys, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Anthony Seja, though, he's looking more like a thin chorizo than a piece of mortadella. I mean, so maybe not.
Whatever that is.
Maybe not.
Whatever that is.
Things Mokan can't eat.
I
It's
don't know what that
Italian-
is.
It's Italian beef.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
swine.
Neither are beef, by the way. They're both pork.
I know.
Swine at its finest. Okay. They are now 2 and 3 in the receiver categories, almost near identical numbers for receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Will they cancel each other out for receiver of the year at the end of the day? Because Rafael Ducasse La Palma is first, but one of these 2 guys could very well catch up with him in yards or receptions or touchdowns.
Well, first of all, Rafael Ducasse has a significant lead on both of these guys. There's like 4 more touchdowns and more yards, so it's tough to catch up to begin with, and the other two guys play on the same team. So unless one guy decides to not have catches anymore,
And the way both of their teams are built, the Div 6 team and the Div 5 team, Pension Plan and Punishers, both guys get a lot of targets. And it's not going to be, Junior Spera just doesn't get a ton of catches for 3 weeks.
yeah, no, exactly.
It won't. It just won't
But
go
they
down.
He's
They
there.
got
won't-
great
they won't
hands,
cancel.
man.
Yeah. He's impossible to cover.
but that's
He
I
is
can cover.
impossible.
I can cover.
No, you can't.
I
0%.
Mo, you can't cover.
He
stuff.
will toss you around like a child.
Mo, you haven't covered
You-
anybody. Ever.
You will be crying 3 minutes into
I
the
had
game.
him thinking yesterday when I said, "Junior, what are you doing here, bro? What do you mean? You're in Kirkland tonight."
It was amazing. The fear.
So that's
He's
how
like this. He's like,
yeah, that's how he's covering.
you're gonna cover him by sending him to the wrong field.
yeah.
So
That's not bad. That's a good strategy. I like that.
That's
I like
actually
that.
a better strategy than I thought.
so the fear in his eyes when Mokan said, "You're not here at Kirkland at like 8:08." The guy looked at Mo and for 5 or 6 seconds was legit scared. He looked at Mo and was like, I have no time to make it to Kirkland. Did I just cost my team a win? What's going on?"
Does that ever happen to you guys? Did you get into the wrong field?
It has. It's happened to
Happened to me.
teams this year. Yeah, Brotherhood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
Brotherhood in Division 3. They went to, I believe it was Hebert when their game was on the Sheen on the Sunday night.
That's funny.
It's happened before. It definitely has. But right now, CJ and Junior Sparrow, can they be of worthy competition for the receiver of the year? Can they sort of?
I mean, they're
jump
definitely
off
competition, but just because they play on the same team and it's that team specifically, it won't happen.
The
They won't do the Sean
They'll
Abrams
kinda
thing,
buy-
trying to get their guy the receiver of the
it?
year.
So who's the best receiver on this team then? If you had to pick one
Depends
guy.
for what?
Okay, let's say
A
it's,
guy to build your team around.
Well, no, let's say it's a red zone scenario.
Junior Sparrow. Jesus.
First down. It's 3rd and 4. You need a first down.
Junior Sparrow.
on anything short distances, Junior Sparrow.
So what's
He's
CJ good
uncoverable.
for then?
For everything else, for a 5-yard out that could turn
If
into a
it's
touchdown.
4th and 20,
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
you need a guy to go up and get the ball.
Yeah,
You need a guy to box someone out.
if it's 4th and 20, he's not the target. But if it's 4th and 1, why would you go to anybody else?
Yeah, because if you're on his left side, the ball's going to his right side, and you cannot stop it from getting there.
He understands how to use his own body to protect, to shield you from coming in for the ball, which a lot of people don't seem to understand.
He would make you cry.
It's funny that you think you could cover him.
I can cover him. Trust me. He thought he was in Kirkland. All right, quickly, guys. Looking ahead here.
The only reason you could cover him because he
we
won't
do
be
have
there.
one official team eliminated from the playoffs. Browns
Oh.
de Boucherville are out.
Yeah. Okay, so no, read it out.
Maybe don't call your team the
No,
Browns.
please read out what you wrote on this script.
0-23 now.
It's ridiculous.
0-23.
Are they
0-23.
0-23?
What does this mean?
Okay, the Browns 0-16. Browns de Boucherville 0-7. 0-23.
Oh, you're combining the Browns scores. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
0-23.
How's this
I
good?
like that. I like that.
Don't encourage him.
If you don't understand the show, then don't
Yeah,
be part of the
you
show.
take two things that are not related. You pretend they're related. Content.
Don't encourage Mokan ever.
What kind? That was brilliant.
Thank you. That's where we connect.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
guys.
ashamed for it to be here right now.
So it's a lost sandwich where the two Browns are the breads.
Okay, Moss City. Moss City makes the playoffs, yes or no? Black Knights, are they going to be yo-yoing their way back up and down the playoff ladder board right
Yes.
now?
Well, Moss City they're right now in the
They're-
playoff spot.
I know,
Yes.
but we're giving them that benefit of the doubt that they should be in the playoffs, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
perfect.
yeah,
But
they're
Black
good there.
Knights, though, are we like going to...
I'm borderline.
okay.
It's
So yo-yo wing.
they need to secure at least 2 wins. I think.
Okay, fair enough. And on the Conference B side of things here, blue team, they're at 7 points here.
They're falling out.
GLC, Team YS, I think there's more talented teams below them. GLC, Team YS, who makes it in and will they
It's gonna be
jump?
an interesting finish, but I agree with Peace. Blue team's going to be that one team that is left out.
Just quickly here, we have some Facebook comments.
Oh,
So
I
first
just
off-
noticed them all. Yeah.
from Terry Tam, chorizo is Portuguese, not Italian.
Correct.
Okay.
He
also
changed.
heard
He
that
changed his background.
he heard that Matt Kierak has a nice chorizo, and then Matt Kierak
Mm.
says Mokan does the best impressions, which is obviously sarcastic. And
But
also,
what about Terry's
GM
comment about
needs
the
to
chorizo? Was that
acknowledge their
also?
presence.
Listen, tell Old Man Kirak to put some Ben Gay after the beating he took on Monday against the Waste Ute.
Okay,
All right, it's
beating,
now
sure.
time for...
Games. Of
He's
the
not
w-
Peeze.
games of
Perfect.
the
GM.
games of
I
the
know.
week.
Yes, Games of the Week. That is correct.
Okay.
Games at the Strong.
Starting off with half a stars against Longhorns.
Oh,
Horns.
Give me the Longhorns.
Horns.
Horns.
Keep it horny, baby.
Nice.
Weasels and Falcons against Bobby's Boys.
Bobby's boys.
No, Weasels and Falcons
boys,
for me.
Bobby's boys. I'll take
W and F.
Matty Patron on this one.
And I don't think this is the first time these two teams have faced off, but Ghosts against Hot Boys Hotline.
Ghost.
Do we know who's quarterbacking?
Too
Is there
spooky
any
for
insight?
Tom.
I'm gonna go Hot Boys Hotline.
I think Tom Gatehouse is back.
What?
Give me ghosts.
What?
Fun fact:
What-
this is a scrimmage team. So if we're talking about off-season training and everything, there's a lot of games set up between these two teams.
Friendlies.
Cool.
Friendlies.
Did you
yes.
hear
Like
that?
like the terrible American chain.
Did you hear that
restaurant.
Mokan
Yeah.
picked Tom Gatehouse?
I did. I
Yeah.
saw that.
That's gonna go with Tommy.
And in 5B, we have Falcons against TDs and Beer,
That's a good game.
Teas and beer for me.
Give me Falcons.
Falcons.
Mogadishu Pirates against Moss City.
Lost City.
Gotta stick what I
Moss
said.
City,
Pirates.
yeah.
Can't go back.
Okay, I'm not Mokan. I don't backpedal.
Well, if they lose, by the way, if the Pirates
I
lose,
can't imagine you
they
backpedaling.
they probably fall out of the playoff.
You're not
number
slow,
two spot. Yes, next.
And Haters Gonna Hate against Finners, or as Simon
Finners.
calls them, Finers.
Finners.
I call them finers. I do.
Finners.
I find it funny. Give me haters.
Give me haters. ZZZ.
All right.
You guys hating?
Match order, please.
From all of us at the Italian
Sorry,
beef.
sorry.
From the Italian beef.
Good night.
Terry Town.
Satriales.
Nice. A good reference.
Ah.
Don't.
So, like, he dies at the end,
Oh, we're
right?
still on. Sorry.
Yes, he does.
All right, that's what I thought.
100%.
Well, that's what that story's
I'm-
still out though, right?
I'm fierce.
that
I'm
guy goes
fierce
to the
that he
washroom and
dies.
comes back out. He kills them.
Yeah.
No, I meant James Gandolfini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well-
Nice.
Wait, what's going on?